right. Well, it was an active day today throughout the state of South Carolina and wasn't for everybody. Wasn't for everybody. We were looking dry in a lot of locations. I got rainfall this morning about 6 o'clock in the morning, but then after that, it was nice and dry all day. Nice and dry. Now, we did have cloud cover. We did even have some peaks of sunshine trying to move through. So it was honestly not even that bad today. Wasn't even that bad. Now, in terms of what is on tap for tonight, what are we going to talk about tonight? We're going to be talking about our mostly dry after early evening isolated showers end as we go into tonight. Typical summertime pattern with daily scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms going into this weekend, even though, it won't be as active, as it has been for the past couple of days. So, a little bit of a break there. Daily diurnal showers and thunderstorms continue as heat indices also potentially back up to 100 to 105 degrees next week. And then moisture remains ample with localized heavy rainfall possible later next week as well. So, a lot of things to talk about there. And obviously, the main area that I want to go in and talk about real quick is the worst of the storms are gone, but summer is not done. And you may be asking, well, of course, summer is not done. We just started. We literally just started summer at the beginning of the month. Well, I'll explain what I mean in just a moment. If you have not hit the like button or the subscribe button yet, also go and hit the share button. It is free. It's free, and it'll always be free. So go on and do so. Let's see what's going on right now throughout the entire state. Well, right now we do have some rainfall going on over here throughout the upstate. We have some rainfall throughout the Midlands, the PD areas as well. And honestly, it looks like that most of us are dry, which is expected. We are expecting that. Now, if we take a look at our rainfall for the entire U.S. here, we do have some rainfall going on throughout the southeast, some flooding going on down there, even some severe weather going on over inside of Mississippi. We have some rainfall inside of Florida, more storms down there, some more storms over there in Nevada, rainfall in Oregon, and then if you look in the upper Midwest, we're starting to look at some rainfall in Wisconsin, Minnesota, and then the Northeast receiving some rainfall. But if we go in and take a look at our cloud cover, we do have cloud cover going on throughout the Midlands, the upstate low country. Almost every region is receiving cloud cover. The only area that's not receiving a good amount of cloud cover like the other areas is most likely the Grand Strand area. But don't worry, everybody will be included back in that cloud cover. Watch as we move into tonight. As we go to around 4 o'clock in the morning, going all the way to 7 o'clock in the morning, we are all once again trying to get some cover in terms of the entire state. I mean, we're all trying to get cloud cover here. And as we move into Saturday afternoon, going into the evening hours, we still see a good amount of cloud cover statewide. But watch as we move into Sunday morning, going into Sunday afternoon, cloud cover is starting to leave us a little bit. And as we move into around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock p.m., cloud cover has now moved away. And now we are looking at nice, clear conditions. Just statewide for the most part, except for some other areas, obviously like parts of the upstate and kind of just scattered around, but mostly clear for a good amount of us. Now, as we go in and take a look at our current temperatures, we're talking about 80 in Somerville, 81 in Charleston, as well as Beaufort, 80 in Orangeburg, and 81 in Murrells Inlet, 82 in Myrtle Beach, and 81 in North Myrtle Beach, 82 in Columbia, and 81 inside of Florence, 80 Union, 79 Greenville, Spartanburg, 80 from Gaffney all the way over into Rock Hill. Air quality for tonight, it looks like that we are nice and good. No bad air quality is expected, so we should be able to enjoy the night, not knowing that we do not have any bad air quality here. Low temperatures for tonight, we're talking about 63 in Greenville, 62 Spartanburg, as well as 63 in Rock Hill, 68 in Columbia, and 70 in Orangeburg, 70 Moncks Corner, and 75 in Charleston, 76 Hilton Head Island, and 71 in Georgetown, 72 in Myrtle Beach. And then as you go into your high temperatures for tomorrow, we're talking about 84 in Greenville, 85 in Spartanburg, and 86 in Rock Hill, 89 Columbia, Orangeburg, 90 Moncks Corner, 91 in Walterboro, 88 in Charleston, and 89 in Georgetown and Hilton Head Island, and 86 in Myrtle Beach. Now, as we move into our rainfall for the next 24 hours or so, you can see a good amount of rainfall is definitely possible in parts of the Midlands and parts of the PD areas. 1/100 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch goes on from Winnsboro over into King Street, Georgetown, Myrtle Beach, Hilton Head Island, Charleston. All these areas have a risk for 1/100 of an inch to 1/10 of an inch, and a good amount of us could be to 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. Columbia, Orangeburg, then maybe even 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch over there in Sumter. SPC outlook for tonight, we're also looking at that threat of thunderstorm activity right now as we currently speak. It looks like that we may have like a little thunderstorm going on near Sumter, maybe having a thunderstorm going on over there near Marion, but honestly, we can't really tell exactly what's happening in terms of thunderstorm activity on just regular radar, because obviously, even though, some may think, oh, well, because it's red and, we have heavy rainfall, that automatically means thunderstorms. No, not necessarily. If you wanted to go on and see if we had thunderstorms on a live radar, you'd actually have to look at a whole lightning tracker to see that. But, I have something that I can check and see if there actually is any sort of thunderstorm activity. And so if I go over here, I'm going to move over into the MRMS right now, and then move over into the lightning probability. And it looks like that there is thunderstorm activity going on over there near Sumter, and then over there near Marion, there's around a 68% chance of a thunderstorm going on over there. So honestly, I mean, both pretty high, but there definitely are thunderstorms still going on throughout portions of the state. Now, as we go into tomorrow, thunderstorm activity really just for parts of the low country, the western low country, going to the southern, more coastal areas. And then as going to Sunday, we have another thunderstorm risk over here for the western parts of the state. Now, as we go into excessive rainfall for tonight, honestly, I think that that's going to really go away. I don't really see this marginal risk really staying, as there's not really too much of a risk for excessive rainfall as we move into, or really just rainfall in general, as we move into that southern area for tonight. So I think that that's going to go away more than anything. And then as we move into tomorrow, not seeing anything there. Day 3, nothing there. Day 4, we have something here. This is Monday, isolated flash flooding up here for portions of Salem going on over into Sunset, South Carolina, Pumpkin Town, going into Cleveland, South Carolina, and Landrum. Tigerville also included in there from Monday. And then as we move over into Tuesday, we're good there as well. Now for the crazy score, we're at an 11 for tonight. What does that mean? Well, we're in the calm category. It makes sense. We're looking for not really too much significant weather. Clear skies, light clouds, all of that seems to be inside of the forecast for tonight. Now, cloud cover, I guess because not everybody is completely cloudy, I guess that's the reason why we're not in that mild category. Remember, these scores are automated, not completely made up by me. And so I think an 11 maybe could bump it up to around a 12 to a 13 or so, maybe would work, maybe even up to a 14. But maybe not quite mild, just because not the entire state is completely clouded up in terms of cloud cover. Now let's go and take a look at the models. We're going to start off here at 9 o'clock p.m. If you lose track of the time at the bottom, you may be confused, so please make sure that you pay attention to that, as that is very important. You move into tonight, going over into tomorrow. We're looking at nice dry conditions starting off the morning. I mean, we're having, showers and storms over towards our south and east, towards our west, but nothing in the state. Go all the way to 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock p.m. tomorrow, noon. No thunderstorm activity, no shower activity. We look good. But then as we get to around 3 to 4 p.m., we're starting to see some showers, maybe trying to develop a little bit near that coastal area, maybe inside the upstate a little bit. But things still aren't that bad. I mean, things look pretty good statewide into the early evening hours. And then as you move into around 6 o'clock p.m., going all the way to 8 o'clock p.m., we finally start to see a little bit of moisture starting to move into the western low country. And as we go to around 10 o'clock all the way to 12 o'clock in the morning, that thing is pretty much gone. And we stay dry for the majority of Saturday night going into Sunday morning and early Sunday afternoon. So things really don't look that active. Really do not look that active for the majority of Saturday and just the beginning of the weekend here, which By the way, I also forgot to say, we have made it through Friday, and we're officially at the weekend. Let's go ahead and give ourselves a round of applause for that. So that's definitely something to look forward to, the weekend, obviously. Now, as we go on and take a look at our rainfall rates for the long-term future, because obviously the short-term future, we know we are looking at not too much. What about for the rest of Sunday? Well, the rest of Sunday kind of moves on. We're still not seeing anything too much here. We go over into around Monday of next week. We finally start to see some showers, some thunderstorm activity, maybe trying to get going as we move into around Tuesday, going into Wednesday or so. And Wednesday, I see a little low pressure trying to get going over here towards the southern parts of the state, maybe even going into mid-state a little bit. So that could try to bring us some good rainfall, some beneficial rainfall as we move into Wednesday. Then as we go into Thursday as well into Friday, things look again just like a regular summertime pattern, just daily shower and storm activity statewide. We go all the way into next week, Sunday, that is, not, well, I should say next weekend Sunday, because that is June the 28th here. We see some more shower activity, but again, nothing too bad. And I see a couple of storm systems maybe trying to move through as we move early into July. May impact July 4th, but we'll figure that out once we get closer towards that date. But it does look like that we are just continuing just to see that regular shower and thunderstorm summertime activity, which is not really too far out of the forecast. I mean, we've been talking about for the past couple of days how we don't really see too much of a big forecast event after the remnants of Arthur is done. Speaking of the remnants of Arthur, you may be asking, well, what in the world happened to Tropical Storm Arthur? Well, Arthur, actually, this is the right one. You can see right over here on the screen as a little tropics update. This is the 8 o'clock p.m. outlook. Arthur has completely moved off and it's gone. It's out of our hair. The remnants of Arthur have merged with a frontal system east of the coast of North Carolina. And it says, and no subtropical or tropical development is expected. So Arthur is done. It's completely dead. It's going to have no more steam left to it. And, that was a pretty helpful, but also maybe not so helpful storm that came through. I went around to see what we had in terms of damage-wise. I saw some tree branches down, but nothing too major in my area. Nothing too major in my area. Just a bunch of tree limbs and stuff like that. Now, as we go back into the models, though, let's see how much rainfall we could potentially receive as we move into around early July. Well, starting off, this is the GEFS, and I will say, after Arthur left, the GEFS does not really have too much rainfall in our sight for us. And, I mean, an inch over the next 300 hours, I mean, that's all the way to July 4th. I mean, that is 1 inch of rainfall in about a week, 2 weeks. 2 weeks and some change. I mean, that's not a lot, and that could definitely get the drought to start growing again, especially if it gets hot. So we want to see more rainfall than this, and I really do hope that the GEFS starts to go up. And if you look towards the coastal areas, you're starting to see a good amount of areas getting more up into that red, towards that 2-inch mark, which is good. Obviously, we know that the low country, the Grand Strand area, those two areas have the drought the absolute worst right now, and they definitely need the majority of the rainfall if they really want to get that drought down. So I am happy to see that, but I wish it was just a little bit more than this. Now, if we want to take a look at the European is not too much different. Only around an inch, maybe even around 2 to 3 inches near the coastal area, so a little bit more rainfall than the GEFS. I would almost rather see the European, but obviously the GEFS is also not really or the European is really not even that good either here. So that's pretty much all I have to say here, really, in terms of the long-term future, in terms of precipitation. And as we go on and move into our actual temperatures, we go on and move into Saturday, we go on into Sunday, we're starting to see some cooler temperatures move in, but then also some warmer temperatures move in here and there. And then as we go all the way into Sunday, going into Monday and Tuesday, look at our temperatures, 10 degrees above average as we move into early next week, that's what we like to see. That is exactly what we like to see. We go all the way into Wednesday, going into Thursday, and look at this, some cooler air trying to make their way through as we move into Thursday and Friday of next week. Not this week, obviously, but next week. We go into next weekend, again, another warm-up or so, but the same thing that I've been talking about all month. This flip-flop, back and forth, cooler weather, warmer weather, cooler weather, warmer weather at times. This is what we're seeing. And so when I say cooler weather, obviously I'm not talking about 30s and 40s. I'm talking about like lower 80s, mid 80s, and not up in those 90s. And so that's kind of what we've been seeing for the majority of June. It's just back and forth temperatures. I mean, just look at the high temperatures for tomorrow. That's a great example. Look at the high temperatures for tomorrow. You have 80s, mid 80s up there in the upstate. You go in the low country, you're seeing still some higher 80s, but you're seeing some low 90s. And so this is kind of the model that we've been dealing with. Now, if we move over into the week after next week, now we're going into Monday and Tuesday, Wednesday, going into July. July could start off again, kind of just all over the place as well. But it could be above average during the day, below average temperatures during the nighttime hours. As we start off July, I know it's 300 plus hours out, so do not take that fully as gospel, but it is a possibility if the models say it is. Now, as we go on and take a look at our actual temperatures themselves, we go over into Saturday. We know what that's going to look like. We move over into Sunday, and watch how it gets hotter. Watch how it gets hotter. We go all the way into Tuesday, going into Wednesday. Now we're up into the upper 90s in some spots. We go into the mid 90s on Thursday. Friday, we're up into the mid 90s once again of next week. And then as we move into next weekend, we're seeing some higher 90s come along. Now, if we go in and take a look at the actual ensembles for the future, because once you get around 200 hours out in terms of temperatures, it's not really too accurate anymore. But it shows a lot of high 90s coming in terms of averages, which is a huge sign that it's going to get really hot as we start off the beginning of July. I mean, that's probably one of the highest averages I've seen from the GEFS for the year. I mean, all the way up to the mid to upper 90s on an ensemble. Remember, this is an average. This is not just one model. This is an average of models put together. And the fact that the average is in the mid to upper 90s, that is a sign that early July could be hot. It really could be hot. And then as we move later into July, you are still seeing it. You are easily still seeing it. Now, one more thing I want to go in and take a look at real quick is our heat index values. Just seeing, what we're going to feel like. Well, we get all the way through to Saturday going into Sunday. We're still seeing some mid-90s. When are we going to start seeing those 100s come into play? Next week. Watch on Tuesday here. We're seeing, some feel like near 102 or so in the low country a little bit as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday. We're, kind of getting up into the 100s just a little bit, not too much. I'm not seeing like 105, 110. Not until we probably get later into like next weekend or so, where we may start seeing that start to occur. But I really start to see those temperatures start to skyrocket up when we get towards the end of June, going into early July. I mean, I see a bunch of 104, 105s going on over here later on. So that is something just to keep in mind. That's something just to keep in mind, that as we get more and more throughout the month going into early next month, summer is not done. Summer is not done. And so that's the main thing that I have to say here for tonight. And that's the main part of the forecast. So let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us here at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Starting off with Mr. Michael, who was here first. He says, "Good evening, South Carolina. I pray everyone had an amazing day." Well, thank you so much for that. I sure did. It was hot, but it was good. Maya Lewis says, "Good evening, everyone. I pray that everyone had a blessed day. Today's high in Georgetown was around 89 with humidity. It felt like 98. Currently, it's around 80 degrees. She also says it was a beautiful day inside of Georgetown." Well, at my house right now, currently, which I know I had this pulled up. I don't know why it just disappeared on me. But right now it's 78 at my house, and then the high temperature for today was around 84. I had a max wind gust of around 26, 27 miles per hour at my house. Again, lower towards the ground, so probably a bit higher up in the air. She also says, it was a beautiful day in Georgetown. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening, weatherman. I hope all is well. It wasn't too hot today in Philadelphia. And how's everyone on this Juneteenth? I hope everyone had a pleasant day today and a heavenly, enjoyable weekend. Love you. Well, thank you so much for that message. And thank you for tuning in all the way over there in Philly. Malua says, I'm glad to know that the worst of the storm is gone. Absolutely. Mr. Daniel says, enjoyed and thankful for the showers we had. My lawn is full and extra green after fertilizer. My Nina says, hello, Jay and all. Hello to you. And then Thad says, hello, just from the 360 Weather family. I trust all is well with everyone. It was another hot one here in San Antonio. We were thankful for the overcast that kept the sun at bay. We are looking forward to some potential rain showers over our area this weekend. We'll definitely go on and talk about San Antonio. In fact, we're going to do it right after we announce this question for tonight. Top fan question of the night for tonight. You guys know how it rolls. If you want to participate, you have to be a subscriber. Which, speaking of, if you have not hit the like button yet or the subscribe button yet, go on and do so. We've had 33 people tune in tonight, and we only have 6 likes. So if you're a part of that group of 27 that have not hit the like button tonight, go on and do so. It's free, it's free, it's free. And I know currently we have more than 6 people watching right now. So go on and hit the like button if you have not already. And subscribe as well. We're at 756, trying to get to 800. We are less than a quarter of the way there to 1,000. We are less than a quarter of the way there to 1,000. And share, obviously. Share with your friends, family members, acquaintances, and all of that stuff. But the top fan question of the night for tonight, see who was paying attention for tonight. Let's see who was paying attention. Because this question is going to go all the way back. It's probably going to go all the way back, because we haven't done a question like this in a hot minute. We're going to go back to the cloud cover. What time frame did I say earlier that cloud cover would be finally starting to recede? What time period was it that I said that our cloud cover was actually going to start to recede? I need an answer more than just like, oh, on Monday, oh, on Friday, oh, on Thursday. I need like Thursday morning, Friday afternoon, Saturday evening, Sunday night. I need answers like that. So not just one specific day and then that's it. I need a day and a time frame. If you want to say hours, I guess you can. I don't really see how that would advantage you in any way, but I mean, I guess if you would want to. And then that's it. So whatever that time frame was that I said that cloud cover was going to start receding, go on and answer it. Mr. Daniel said, I have a short memory. Well, guessing is always an option. I mean, there's no rule that says that you can't guess. So we're going to start off with San Antonio first in terms of our 4 areas outside of South Carolina. You might be asking, why do we talk about these 4 areas? Well, that is because we have people from these areas who tune in almost nightly. We see that in San Antonio. We see my cousin Cheryl in Philadelphia listening in. So we give them their forecast for them because they are subscribers and they tune in almost nightly. And we appreciate their contribution. So we go on and give them their forecast for them. We're going to start off with San Antonio first. Low temperatures tonight at 76, high temperatures for tomorrow at 91, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 77. No precipitation is expected for, at least for right now, as you are currently in the clear of any sort of shower activity. But I will say this, as you move more and more into your future, into tonight, mainly around 1 o'clock in the morning going into around 5 o'clock in the morning, showers are going to become likely. And then as you move into tomorrow, you have another chance of thunderstorm activity, and then another chance of thunderstorm activity tomorrow night. So you are in the clear there once again. Now, once you get to Sunday, things start to calm down. Things already start to calm down going into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I mean, you look nice and dry throughout that entire time frame right there. And then temperature-wise, you're also going to continue to be into the 90s, the upper 90s, even mid to upper 90s throughout the rest of next week. Now, in terms of severe weather, you do have a risk for some isolated flash flooding tonight going into tomorrow. Just make sure that you're aware there and what's going to happen. Then as we go on and talk about your severe weather, I really doubt that you have any at all, and it looks like that the SPC agrees. They don't see anything for you either. And let's see. Ooh, I read that wrong actually. We already got an answer. Milo says Saturday afternoon. No, not correct. Saturday afternoon is not the correct answer. Not the correct answer there. We're going to move over to Raleigh now. Low temperatures tonight at around 64. High temperatures for tomorrow at 89. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at around 68. No precipitation is expected at this time. You're not seeing any sort of excessive rainfall activity for you for tonight, tomorrow, and just for the next 5 days in general. You're not seeing anything there. In terms of severe weather for you, looks like that you're good there as well. And then as we go on and take a look at your future, temperature-wise, you're going to continue to kind of go up into the 90s. In fact, tomorrow will be like your last day in the 80s until probably sometime late next week, potentially. Rainfall-wise, you're going to stay dry for the majority of the weekend. And then as you go all the way into Monday or so, that rain chance comes back. So I don't see anything there. Else there. I see Thad says Sunday morning / afternoon. I need one. Either it's got to be Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. I need one of the two. And as we move over now to Philadelphia, you have low temperatures tonight at 64. High temperatures for tomorrow at 83. And then low temperatures tomorrow night at 63. No precipitation tonight or tomorrow night. Breezy conditions, though, are expected as we move into tonight, as going into tomorrow once again. So, as we then move over into your rainfall threat, obviously you're not seeing anything there either. And then as you go into excessive rainfall, severe weather, looks like that you're good there, so we're not seeing anything. Excessive rainfall-wise, you do have a risk for some excessive rainfall on Monday, so isolated flash flooding is definitely possible for you. So just make sure that you're watching out. And then for your future, you're going to continue to be in the 80s. You're not really going to leave the 80s in terms of temperatures, and then precipitation for your future going to Sunday night, Monday night. Those three time frames, Sunday night, Monday, and Monday night, your precipitation kind of peaks there. And every other day, it looks dry until maybe around Thursday, to where things may start to get back active once again. I see Sunday morning. No, not Sunday morning. The final location being Duncan, Oklahoma, with low temperatures tonight at 70, high temperatures for tomorrow at 88, and then low temperatures tomorrow night at 74. Chance of thunderstorms for tonight, and then tomorrow there's another chance of showers. Tomorrow night, no precipitation is expected at that time either. Now, in terms of severe weather, looks like that you are not in the clear. Sunday, you have a risk for some isolated severe storms. And then as you move into your excessive rainfall outlook, you do have a risk for excessive rainfall. On Sunday, you have a marginal risk, meaning isolated flash flooding. Then as you go into Monday, slight risk of excessive rainfall there, meaning a 15% risk of flash flooding. And then on Tuesday, you have another 5% risk of flash flooding once again. So honestly, you're probably back to being that active area of the 4 area status over there, just because you have a bunch of severe storms that may try to come your way, a bunch of excessive rainfall for the next couple of days as well. And then for your future, you're going to be hot. I mean, on Sunday, your high temperature is 96, but then you take a huge drop off going into the week, dropping down to the 80s. Now, that's pretty much all I have to say there in terms of your future and for those areas. So let's see what's going on right now throughout the entire U.S., where right now it looks like excessive rainfall continues to produce life-threatening, locally catastrophic flooding along the central Gulf Coast. Isolated to scattered dry thunderstorms may also cause lightning-ignited fires and erratic behavior due to gusty winds across portions of Oregon, California, and the Great Basin into the weekend. So a lot of fire weather going on. If you know anybody out there in the West, rather be in central Washington, central Oregon, southeastern Oregon, parts of Idaho, northern California, the entire state of Nevada, northwestern Arizona, good amount of Utah, good amount of Colorado, northwestern New Mexico, northeastern Arizona, all of those areas probably should not be burning anything. Should not be burning anything at all. Just because they have this red flag warning that pretty much is here all the way into tomorrow. Even though some of them may get some rainfall. We have also some heat advisories over there inside of Texas. It's going to get hot over there. Some severe storms going on tonight. Nothing too bad, though. Tomorrow, we have an enhanced risk of severe weather over there in Kansas, Nebraska, eastern Colorado, Colorado for tomorrow. And then on Sunday, slight risk that goes all the way from Nebraska through St. Louis, down through Oklahoma City, over into southern Illinois, Indiana, western Kentucky, northern Arkansas. So a lot of severe weather is coming back as well. And that's all that I have to say there. And then as we check out the chat, Thad did get it. It was Sunday afternoon. Congratulations to you for going on and getting the top fan question of the night for tonight. Remember, if you want to be like Thad, you have to hit the subscribe button. And obviously, you have to be here paying attention, listening, because if you technically could just guess, but if you come one night and somebody knows the answer before you because they were paying attention, obviously they will win for that night. So make sure that you are prepared for it, and then also be here early, because I could ask a question from any time frame. Could be from the beginning, could be during the afternoon. Anything is fair game. It doesn't matter what it is. Anything is fair game. And that's all here. So if you've not hit the subscribe button yet, hit the like button, go on and do so. Hit the share button as well. I will be back tomorrow morning for your Saturday morning forecast update. I may not be here tomorrow evening, just determines on what we decide to do. So I will put out a post if I'm not. But luckily, not too much is really going to be happening. I mean, we saw from the models for tomorrow, not too much is going to be happening, so I'm not too worried about it. But that's all. Hit those two buttons before you leave if you're new, and make sure that you tune in tomorrow.